there. This is another recording and it's the second one in this new room. And let me start a 30-minute timer on my phone. And I know and I noticed that I'm speaking less loud, so more quietly right now, and I'm not gonna change that intentionally. So I'm not gonna speak louder at the moment, and I want to create for myself an environment where I feel not rushed, feel no pressure from myself to deliver, to perform. So the impartiality stuff, the impartiality state approach. And I'll talk more about all this environment and other things, but first I want to go over the things that I want to focus on during this recording. And the thing number one is vulnerability. No, it's the view state of mind. And the view is vulnerability, impartiality, empathy, and wonder. So vulnerability, I am here as I am, as I am, and I also let myself to be touched by whatever feelings I experience in my body. And impartiality is about not having a direction. For example, my direction is to prioritize and pay attention, and it's basically explore, and that's it. So no, explore and also practice some stuff, be in certain conditions and or environment. Thing number 3 is empathy, and empathy is about being with emotions, not in them, being with, so not being in a story, but being with a person or with myself. So currently, right now, it's more about noticing my feelings, noticing my state, and not being in it, but seeing it flowing through me, and also seeing that it's there is a story that there is a certain level of attachment that I have to it if this happens, and not and staying nearby. So that's impartiality, and that is empathy. And the fourth one is wonder. And my friend asked today, about about exercises, or how to get into the wonder state of mind. And I am I'm only exploring this, so I don't know, I don't have the answer to my friend and to myself. I am exploring wonder, so the way I understand it and get into it is with actually paying attention, with thinking that, oh, wait a second, how is it to be from wonder right now? And then letting myself to be open to whatever is happening. So it's I see wonder as a partner of impartiality. So and also, yeah, something like that. No expectations, with no expectations, exploration with no expectations of the outcome. I could want, though, I think I could want or acknowledge my wants in, like, I want to find a solution. I feel this way, I feel that way. I want this, I want that. I don't want this, or I don't want that. I could do that, but I also can acknowledge those and allow. Okay, then another area that I like to explore or focus on, explore and focus on is my breath, and paying attention to my breath and paying attention to my body. And that's the main focus area that I want to be in or spend my time during this recording. So letting myself to settle in my body, and I can do actually some grounding stuff for that. So, but letting myself or playing with how to land in my body, how to stay in it. So that's the thing. And also the shame part. So the shame feelings, the feeling of shame. I'm exploring it. I've been exploring it for years and years in therapy, and now I think I have enough. I feel I have that. I notice that I have enough space, internal space, and to notice when I'm in shame. And right now I am in shame. I notice that I'm also tired, but I'm in shame, and I can tell this by the fact that I'm speaking quieter, and I could speak louder, and I also could speak louder and notice what changes in me, and I also could lower the volume of my voice, and lower the volume. I could speak quieter, and notice how that affects me. But shame, I want to notice what happens during this recording with shame, what moves through me and through my body. And also enjoyment, but enjoyment, I think, from what I learned and from what I can observe, is really, really difficult. It is really difficult to enjoy when I am in shame, especially when the shame level is pretty high, and like in my case. And I think that enjoyment actually might be a cool measure, indicator, signal that the level of shame has dropped or increased. So it might be my goal, or it might be tied to, wow, cool, when I just gave myself enough time and space to remember the word, and it came up. Chastising. Interesting. Tied to what? Tied to what? Tied to shame. Tied to shame levels. Okay, so these are the main things that I want to focus on during this recording, and I'm doing it right now. I am paying attention to my breath to the extent that I can, and I am touched and being touched by things that come up in me, and how I want to what? I'm doing this right now. But what I want to do is to actually do the down regulation breathing here on camera, because I feel tired. Before, maybe I could explore my current state, be with myself in this, and you as well, being recorded on camera, before I get to that breathing, because it will restore. It restores energy, and I'll have more energy, which is good. I'll be more recovered, which is good. But getting to know myself in this tired state is also, and from the place of awareness, from the place of presence, like being present and also tired. I'm curious, how is it to be with myself in this state like this? So I want right now to pay attention, or to notice that I'm being recorded, and that I am sitting in this room that is quite public. It's not I'm not in the center of the town square, but still I saw one girl that came here, that came close, and she might saw me here sitting and talking and recording this. And that creates a pretty spicy environment here. A pretty spicy environment. Can you measure an environment? Can you measure environment? Maybe. So I'm being recorded, and I'm using English. I'm speaking English, and being recorded, and I'm close to a glass wall that somewhat see-through, and all that. This is all that I'm experiencing, all that I'm being present enough, because you know what is interesting, or the interesting part is that it's easier, maybe it's easier. It is so much less fun to record these and dissociate, to not feel disconnect from my emotions, from the sensations in my body, from myself, from my body. And it is easier or less painful to do that if it's painful. But also I need to cut off, I need to spend energy and effort on this suppression. And so first the shame comes in, it suppresses or lowers my energy, and then I also try to suppress or to disconnect from the shame, to not feel the shame. So I spend even more energy on not feeling the shame, and so I'm suppressing the shame is suppressing my energy, and I'm suppressing the shame. So it's not twice, but it's even more energy spent only on this, not on the actual useful things that I'm doing here, or I'm about to do. So I think that one step forward could be, and this is what I'm doing, could be letting myself to feel the shame and to see the suppression that I have, and to get to know myself better, to learn this about myself, that, oh, wait a minute, when I am in this situation where people can see me so public, where I have even the risk of the spotlight being on me when I'm in public, then that induces shame in me. And this is how it feels. So, okay, this is what it is. It is what it is right now for me. And it was what it was back then for me. And I also can notice that, additionally, that my current environment, is there any threat here? Because there might be a threat here, or many threats. And it is a good thing to be sensitive to the environment, because I'd like to protect myself if I'm in danger. I'd like to do something to make sure that I'm whole, I'm not damaged, to take care of myself in this. But I also would like to, if I am actually safe, but I feel like if I'm seeing a safe situation as a threatening one, I'd like to update my view of the situation, recognize that I'm safe, and let my body update its systems. Might create some time for my body to update its systems, so that I use that safe situation for my own benefit. And that makes it really useful to be able to see whether to detect the threat level, the accurate threat level, and adjust my behavior based on that threat level. yes, so I'm being recorded right now, and that creates all sorts of movements, sensations in my body. And I can hear some people talking, and there are two guys that just came here and they looked inside this room, but I booked it, so it is. I should have enough. I should have enough reason to stay here, and it also feels like very that situation that actually I could be afraid of, but I notice tingling in my fingers. I notice how my voice gets quieter here, and I notice how I'm getting into this less visible state, or I notice how my body actually responds to that, which is really cool. And I actually I'm noticing pleasure currently that just appeared, additional pleasure that just appeared from this situation where two dudes just came, and I'm recording this. I was seen to a certain extent, and now they're gone, but I'm still here, and this is so interesting. Oh, and there's not much time left, so I'm not going to do the down regulation breath breathing, and I'll just be here for a little bit more. And oh, this is interesting. I'm feeling better right now. I feel pleasure after two people just came, and I was recording this, and I feel excitement. I feel pleasure. Okay, so I want to remind myself to pay attention to the bottoms of my feet, to listen to it. I like this word, listen, to listen to the sensations in my body, and to listen to my breath, and to listen to the bottom of my feet, to my legs, to my belly, to my solar plexus, and do that. And now let's continue going over the architecture file. So there is API design, and it just described this table, or there's this table which says that for the landing module, the base URL will be just / and these are the examples: therapist list, book consultation one. Then goes user cabinet item. Now let's see how to pronounce it. Define cabinet, and it has the /user prefix, so user dashboard, user settings. These look clean and nice. Then goes therapist cabinet, so /therapist schedule, therapist chat, Then goes staff cabinet, staff, and then billing, webhook. Cool. I like this. This looks clean. Then we have response patterns, page controllers, return view names for ThymeLive. So get mapping model, add attribute data. We will explore this more later. Ajax controllers, they return JSON, get mapping, API schedule, response body, response entity, schedule response, schedule response. Cool internationalization. I18N messages file, so we'll store our keys and values, strings, inside properties, inside property files, URL based locale, Ukrainian. No, that's not right. I want English by default. No, this is not great. So we want that to change. We want to change that. Cool. Let's search for it. This is weird. So here, as you can see, English is a default language, but here we have let's do it like this, UA, and like this. We could just change the wrong file. English default, English by default. Cool. And let's do it this way. And then English default, and then we'll have here it for Ukrainian. Okay, cool. And shit. I want to make it. I want to make English as a sign as a default here, because I want it to use this later as my portfolio, from my portfolio, and so we'll need this English version. Cool. So we can continue from, and what do we have here? Stages. We are not interested in stages right now. And what we're interested in, oh cool, it remembered the scroll offset or position. Cool, so we have a URL based locale, and I want to get to the end of this file. URL based locale, so now this one reflects my intentions accurately. ThymeLive usage, H1, text, landing. Is this the way you do translation in ThymeLive? I'm curious. Controller usage, auto-wired, message source, get message key, null, locale. This one's interesting. Maybe it is parameters or variables that this translation has. Caching strategy, Redis usage, session storage, rate limiting, temporary data caching, cool application level caching, cacheable therapist, okay. Then goes error handling. We'll have a global exception handler which uses controller advice and intercepts resource not found and a generic 500 error. We'll have custom exceptions, cool, resource not found, but could we use, I wonder if we can just use the ones that comes from Spring. Okay. Business exception, authentication exception, testing strategy, unit tests, service layer logic, utility classes, mock dependencies, cool. Integration tests, repository tests with data GPA test, controller tests with web MVC test, full integration with Spring Boot test. I am curious to see how this looks in actual code. Logging guidelines, log levels, error, unexpected errors requiring attention, warn potential issues, info, significant business events, debug, detailed flow information. Standard pattern is to take a logger instance for the current class and store it inside a log variable and do it this. Cool. Configuration management, profile-based configuration. I just learned about it from the Spring book that I am reading. So we'll have multiple YAML files, and this is a multi-profile file. So we have maybe it's just an example, but we have multiple configuration profiles joined into one YAML file, but only they're probably, I'll need to stick to a certain syntax to make that work, and this might not the right syntax. Okay, Spring, this one's okay. Environment variables, database credentials, so cool. API keys and feature flags. Okay, so this is our architecture. I hope that it is enough to create a great Java application. So we have finished discussing, going over, reviewing. We have finished reviewing the architecture file, and then goes the entity mapping for our next goal. So we'll go over entity mapping, but I'm not sure. It contains probably all the entities, or maybe only the approach, because to entities provides a complete mapping of all entities from the original project to the target project, which does not seem correct to me, because I can see here somewhere something like 10 entities or less. So this is weird. This is completely weird. This file looks incomplete. Ooh, cool. And there is then DDD design principles file to review. What the hell? Okay, we'll look into those in the upcoming videos. And now I will wrap up this recording for today. And what do I want to do? Yeah, I feel so vulnerable right now. Vulnerable and not safe. And it's so interesting that I'm recording the video that anyone on the internet can watch. But when actual people like go around here or appear, I feel unsafe. So I lower my voice, and that this happens automatically. And this is so cool to see how it works and to learn that about myself. Okay, that was a great job. And yeah. See you.